All right, so we got Red Eye, directed by Wes Craven, came out in 2005. Written by Carl Ellsworth, whose other credits are Disturbia. 2009 version of Last House on the Left. A little bit of interesting trivia there. Last House on the Left, 1972, was Wes Craven's directorial debut. It was his first movie as a director. Yeah, so Red Eye is a thriller. I'm not going to give too much about the plot. If you don't want to, any spoilers, don't listen. Basically, this young lady meets a man in the airport. They have a drink. They wind up sitting together on an airplane, and then he turns out to be someone who's looking to kill, I believe, the head of the Secretary of Defense. Is that correct?
I think he is. He's a Homeland Security, Secretary of Homeland Security.
There you go. Some sort of assassination attempt, and she can apparently change his hotel room because she has the authority to do so at this hotel that she runs in Miami. And her father, who's played by Brian Cox, who's amazing, I think, especially as of late with his work on HBO. Apparently he gets involved, and there's a potential, a killer outside of his home. Yeah, I had a hard time with this one, man. The one thing I liked about it was 84 minutes long. So thank you for that. If this had been 2.5 hours, I think I would have, maybe jumped out my window, which I'm only on the second story, so I probably would have broken a leg or something. Yeah, not a fan, man. Not a fan. Mm-mm.
Did your parents warn you, when you were younger that, you will grow up too to have bad taste in movies, or did that just happen naturally? How'd that happen?
Me, so you're saying because I didn't like this, I had bad taste in movies. That's interesting. Okay.
Yes, it has to be. Yeah. No,
it was. I mean, you can go down the list here. It was campy and unnecessarily campy because this could have been a great suspense thriller. There wasn't one moment in this movie where I was even concerned as to what was going to happen to any of the characters. And why does Wes Craven have to direct all the villains to be the clumsiest motherfuckers in the world? This guy tripped like 8 times. No response.
Oh, you're asking me.
No. I mean, it's one of those things. And this kind of, remember Scream? Like the ghost face is running around the houses, doors open, he gets hit, falls down. I get it. It adds suspense. But this was just... Oh, man. And I mean, I like Cillian Murphy a lot, and it's Cillian.
What about Rachel McAdams? Didn't you think her performance was good?
She's all right. Yeah. I mean, I like her. I think she's a convincing actor. I've liked her in just about everything I've seen of hers, especially like The Family Stone. That's a really good one. Kind of an unsung Christmas movie that she's in. I think it probably came out around the same time. Yeah, Rachel McAdams is always solid. Really good in Mean Girls, too.
She was exceptional in Mean Girls. Yeah, no, I like Red Eye for a lot of reasons, because for one, you said something really interesting, which I forgot. I said horror, and you're closer with thriller. Thrillers don't get made anymore. They're dramas, they're horror. It's hard to make a thriller. A thriller for me would be something kind of like Murder at 1600 or something like that. It's an action movie. Not as a thriller more so. Mm-hmm. Pick and choose how you dissect that. But I like that with Red Eye. I like that it had very little set involved. I'm sure the budget was like nothing. And I feel like they did a lot with it because the actors. I felt like Cillian Murphy and Rachel McAdams had a good... I don't know. She has her redemption arc for what happened to her. I think she's really great with her subtlety, with what she had to work with, which was sitting, next to somebody in economy on a plane. Yeah, I liked it.
Okay.
I feel like a horror thriller, and it didn't need much else to do that in terms of like blood or aggression or violence, there's only some at the end.
Agreed. And I do respect the fact that Wes Craven seems to always take chances. He did it with the Freddy Krueger stuff back in the day and did The New Nightmare, which I think is a great movie. He did it with Scream, kind of reinvented the horror genre. He went for a PG-13 here. Yeah, and it's a unique story. The fact, you're right, like 85% of the story takes place on a plane. It just didn't work for me. Just personal opinion. And what I mean, Jackson Ripner, really? That's the character's name? Jackson Ripner.
It's made to be tongue in cheek.
Right. Yeah. I guess so. Okay, I get it. Yeah.
That's not his real name.
It's not?
No, I'm saying the character, that's not his real name.
What's his real name then?
He chose that name. He's a hitman. He doesn't have his real name.
Oh, okay. I got it. I'll have to go back and, not check that out again. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, at the end of it, okay, you remember the end where they're getting off the plane.
Yeah.
Why is everyone still on the plane and the only people who can exit the flight are the two main characters and they're running after each other? Just kind of ridiculous. And the fucking bazooka on the boat shooting the whatever penthouse suite that this guy is in. And the stunt woman, man, the Rachel McAdams stunt woman. It's so, go back and watch this. It's so blatantly obvious. Whenever Rachel McAdams falls or does something or falls down the stairs, she's got this kind of auburn hair throughout the movie. And her hair is jet black. And it's obviously, it's just, I don't know, man. It's, yeah, okay.
Yeah, it was actually Lindsay Lohan was her stunt double. So she's used to taking spills while being inebriated. So, to your plane thing, what are you talking about? They landed the plane, and yeah, you're not supposed to get up right away. When they did, she runs away when they say seatbelts off as soon as they do it. What was worried about that?
She gets off the flight, and the bad guy, Jackson Ripner, like gets off eventually. Everyone else is still on the plane. It just doesn't. The logistics don't make sense for me.
Well, because someone got stabbed in the neck, and everyone's up in arms.
He's got a pen hanging out of his neck. Yeah, he does.
I like some of the dialogue too. Like at the beginning, like again, Cillian Murphy I think does a good job. They both do. Like he does a good job of being not intruding. Because at first you're like, "Well, is he going too far?" Because she clearly is a little nervous about being flirted with. And then he backs away, and then she kind of like it's a push pull. Like he's invites her for a drink. He's being somewhat charming, and then she's kind of nervous about it, right? And then he gets the phone call, and so then there's a push pull goes away because then she's like, "Oh, I guess I lost him." And he's kind of like, "Yeah, go away." Then she goes away, and they're back together, and they're having normal, cordial conversation. He plays the sociopath well because he's being exactly what he needs her, and then boom, he's like, "I want to put the attention on your dad," and when they do that, the whole movie changes right there. You realize what the movie's about. And it takes 25 minutes, not that long. It takes time to get there to figure out, oh, this is what the movie's about.
That is true. I do like the fact that they made the villain and the heroine, the main protagonist, and her about equal intelligence. So it was that was well done, I think.
Yeah, and again, this isn't some like Oscar performer, whatever. For me, it was different. It was good. It was because it claims to be horror, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think horror, and I think again the absolute vomit that we've been blessed with from the Saw brother or friends or whatever they are that went to film school together that made Insidious and all the other things. They've been like dominating the horror genre for a decade, and they put out absolute garbage. And I'm like, where's other horror? Where's the Sinisters? You get The Nun, you get the Exorcist of Emily Rose, you get stuff like that, or you get some like, what'd you call it?
Hostel.
Hostel, yeah, but what'd you call it?
Oh, like a snuff film?
Yeah, snuff porn. Sorry, yeah, you get snuff porn.
Yeah.
If you want something else.
It kind of is like that, which is, when you think about it, like it's kind of fucked up that people are really into that, like going to those movies because they're fucking brutal to watch. I mean, that's just my opinion, but yeah, no, I don't have any interest in seeing someone like cut in half, or that have their blood drained and somebody else drink it. It's just like, how would anyone enjoy this?
Yeah. Where's a horror movie where you recognize the plot, dialogue, and performances are something that captivate you, right?
Yeah.
I can't name any, Sinister, in my opinion, Red Eye. They just don't make it. So, again, I have somewhat of a subjective bias in this. It's my little baby, I guess. I wish you could have watched a different one that we had recommended, but we'll watch another time.
We'll get there, man. And yeah, I don't want to shit on your baby, for lack of better terms. So yeah, it was just my opinion. I do have one question for you as far as this goes. Did you see this movie without seeing a trailer to it or anything, or having any like preconceived notions?
Yeah, I had nothing. I think because my boy Roger Ebert, who's usually the one that's kind of contrarian but right, liked it. I can't remember. I didn't watch it when it came out. I knew that. I came across it later. Yeah, he gave it 3 to 4 stars. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I think, which is good, by the way, for him. That's an 8 for him, or I guess 7.5 technically, but 8.
Yeah, and I mean that kind of backs up a theory that I've talked about before. I love movie trailers, I really do, but 9 times out of 10 the movie itself doesn't live up to the trailer. And I had seen this trailer a few times in the past, and it just kind of stuck in my head. So I knew the plot, I knew what it was about, I knew Cillian Murphy's going to turn and do that whole thing. So I really wish that I had gone into it not knowing anything, and maybe it would have had a different effect or different impact on me. There was one thing that really bothered me, and I think it was just setting the tone of the film, was the disgruntled couple at the hotel at the beginning. And
Yeah.
just overacting. I'm just like, Jesus, like, pull it back, man. And the funny thing about the guy, I don't know about the lady. The guy's name is Robert Pine, Chris Pine's dad. Do you know that?
That's interesting.
Yeah, he's been around for a while. I guess he's a character actor. I know he did Chips back in the day and a lot of other television, but that was that was Chris Pine's dad. And they end it with this couple too. And again, it's just so fucking like over the top, just their delivery. And it's almost like they showed up. I don't know when or what order they shot this in, obviously, but it's almost like this last scene, they just showed up and like, all right, let's just fucking figure it out. They didn't have anything written. Like she had this really terrible line about, bubbles or a Bay Breeze or something, and then they're just walking away and like roll the credits. Just like, oh man, it just, it was a big eye roll for me.
Yeah, that one like sentiment you have about that was kind of like the whole plot of the movie Stillwater, if you've seen that one. So yeah, interesting you say that.
So okay. Yeah, I got you, man. All right, so we'll wrap this one up. Unless do you have anything else? Sorry to interrupt. What?
Yeah, well, I was being campy because one thing that's actually funny is I'm actually annoying myself as I think about it. The campiest things, that ending scene, I agree, was kind of like, I think she says, "Shove it up your ass," right?
Yeah.
La, la, la.
Again, the end of the movie, like what that was written, really. That's what we're going
like
with.
A made-for-TV movie, or like an episode of Goosebumps, or Are You Afraid of the Dark, and it's like the end of it, where you don't really care.
It was it reminded me of a Lifetime movie with a little bit more money behind it. Yeah.
The ending, yes, and I will say the other campy thing, because I'm hearing it right now, is the soundtrack. The soundtrack is terrible.
Oh, really?
Like they used that like 7 times, I guess, before. It's when they're like getting the rocket, which by the way I'll give you the rocket launch thing, because what did it track onto? Metallic? The whole thing's metal. Like did they have something? I don't know what the thing's shot at. He couldn't aim it that well, I can guarantee you that.
Yeah, and the Coast Guard checked out this boat, and it was all good. No, they were just fishing. There was a missile or a bazooka underwater, and they pulled it up. And another thing, another random kind of odd cameo. My dad and I used to watch Survivor, the reality show, which is still going. I think probably like 20-something, 30-something seasons in. This is back in 2005. The runner-up for season 2, guy named Colby Covington, I believe, was the head of security for the guy that was, they were trying to assassinate. I don't know if this is his first acting gig after the reality television stint, but I thought that was interesting. And he did a pretty good job, for being a fresh actor.
You know who else is, and I've seen her on an episode of House, was the neurotic concierge, I guess she'd be, that was filling in for her. I liked her.
Oh, yeah. I did recognize her, too. I didn't look up yet what else she's been in, but she's got a really recognizable face.
If you're an actor in an episode of House and you're the sole focus, which she was, you're probably a pretty good actor in my experience. Like, they pick the best because they can, because, it was the most successful drama for the time it was out.
Yeah, I still need to see it, man. I haven't gotten into that one yet, but, we can get into TV at some point, and, we'll disagree on some things there, I'm sure.
Yeah. Breaking Bad is absolute garbage.
Okay, let's get into it now. Yeah, that's coming later. But hey, you can't judge unless you finish the show. You can't judge unless you finish the show.
Yeah, right. There's a teaser for our 10 viewers or millions, whatever this turns out to be. Breaking Bad is horrible. Literally punching yourself in your own face would be better than watching Breaking Bad.
Oh my God. Okay, so I'm previewing. I don't know when this will happen, but we got to do at least 3 or 4 episodes on this because we got to flesh out this discussion because this has to happen. This is long overdue. I know we talked about it privately before, but this needs to be on record. So yeah, we'll get to that.
Can't wait.
Yeah, definitely.
Numbers review. What's your rating?
I'm going to 4.9.
I can go to 6, 7.
Jesus.
Yeah. Maybe a 6-6, but I don't want to get
All
any
right.
any
Okay.
devil juju on me.
And I do want to throw this in there again, as you just said, with, our whatever 10 or dozen listeners, however many. The way this works is I suggest a movie to my buddy here, and he suggests one to me, and we have to watch it if it's available. So my goal, I don't want to be to torture you. I actually want you to enjoy what you're watching. But right now I have a little bit of a tally, and I don't think you're intentionally doing this, but you're picking movies that I have to pay for. And I feel like at this point you owe me a little bit of money. So let's try to steer clear of the garbage piles that I have to buy.
Stranger Than Fiction is what I recommended. That your failure to download it is not my fault.
Well, whoever lives in the Northeast, they may know that it's unavailable right now. So, yeah, that's what went down.
And to your refund you money comment, let me give you one iconic phrase. Still water. Still water. God.
Okay. All right. Well,
At least mine are short. It's not 2 hours and 40 minutes of fucking Tim McGraw lover trouncing around in France and turning into wannabe Liam Neeson and Taken.
oh,
Jesus.
Man. Okay. All right. So if we pick a shit movie, it has to be around 90 minutes. Fair enough. Okay. I see what you're saying. Yeah. And look, man, I mean, the reviews they're there, and I say what I want to say, and I can't edit and change like my opinion. I'm not. Yeah, whatever. I mean, it's how I feel. And that's a great thing about movies, right? You can just, you don't have to like it. It's fine. That's the beauty of the whole thing.
Well, I think in a free and creative society, if, film art tours and whatnot, if things work that way, you would have to like the movies I like. That's how it would work. We're not there yet, but someday we will.
All right. Yeah. So yeah, that was Red Eye. Fun stuff.
I picked Stranger Than Fiction. I told you I'd pick a better one.
Don't try to. Yeah, you did, but you also picked Red Eye. You also picked Red Eye.
Guaranteed.
Okay. Yeah. Good job. So this was your backup to Stranger Than Fiction.
No, this was me spending 5 seconds on Amazon Prime going through things I already bought, and I scrolled by and I said, "Have you seen Red Eye?" And you said no.
Okay. Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes in the links below.